Hi Gemini, this video is for Jupiter in Sagittarius, which is a transit that's occurring from November 8th of 2018 to December 2nd of 2019. And Jupiter in Sagittarius is beneficial for everyone because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. And so you have a marriage of like-minded entities. And speaking of marriage, the house that it's affecting you, and blessing you, I should say, is your 7th house of committed partnership. So needless to say, this is great for anyone who has wanted to form such a partnership. And as I was amassing some of the qualities of this house in order to talk about it, I was like, oh, what else besides committed partnership does the 7th house represent? Because I think a lot of people know this. They know that the 7th house is the house of marriage. It's the house of Libra. Libra rules this house, and Libra's ruler is Venus. So they have that sense of what it means. But it really is about more than just your spouse. It's about any kind of partnership you have. If you have a partnership with somebody in business, even like your one-on-one relationships that might be platonic, it's how you get along with people on a one-to-one basis. And why is this important? Well, obviously, the first thing that we can talk about is go back to the idea of love at a deeper level, at the level of not just dating somebody or, seeing them once in a while, but actually making a life with this person. And many people want to do this, but not everyone knows how to do this. And for some people, and Gemini is a perfect example of this, their love of freedom, or your love of freedom, sometimes overrides this type of relationship. So even if you get married or move in with somebody and you're intending to stay true to them, you may feel that your freedom is curtailed too much and eventually get the itch to move on. Or you may find that being with another person is too demanding because of their moods or because they want children and you don't. And even if you both are on the same page and you either don't want children or you do want children, there just can be things when we're trying to get along with someone that make it a difficult thing for Geminis to do. First and foremost, you're an air sign, so personal relationships can be fraught with peril for you because you like to keep things kind of fun, light. You don't want heavy scenes. And when we tend to get more and more involved with somebody, so especially when you're talking about that one-on-one romantic relationship that is a committed relationship, it might stop feeling fun to you when it starts to get more serious. You're a very social sign, and so you're very happy to flit like the social butterfly among different groups of friends, different interests. You like variety, so you love to engage with different types of people. And yet you can, that love of novelty and that love of change can also be reasons why a one-on-one relationship can feel so confining. Not to say that you can't do it, though. If you meet the right person, you can certainly have a relationship that is much more, that where the person gives you a lot of freedom and yet you still are committed to this person, you still grow with this person, it can be a wonderful thing. It's just that you have to choose wisely because of your special requirements. Jupiter is a planet that gives us luck and expansion. So when it comes to the 7th house, you may have more prospects for a longer lived relationship. If you're the kind of person who has been seeing different people and feeling frustrated that nothing has seemed to gel, this can be a real godsend because it could point to meeting somebody, and it could be in a very I was going to say random sort of way, but I don't like that word because I do believe in destiny, especially for important things that happen to us in life. And this could be somebody that you're destined to meet, but it gives you, it could be in like this kind of like a very serendipitous sort of way because of that lucky angle associated with Jupiter, that you meet this person who eventually you end up committing to. And I would say even if this is not something where you actually get married in the next 13 months, just meeting somebody of that caliber for you is wonderful. And so if you are single and looking, or even if you're married and unhappy, this might be a good transit for you. But also, as I stated, other types of partnerships. Actually, I would say that for this time period that I mentioned, from late 2018 to late 2019, that you are probably luckier when you partner up with somebody rather than trying to go it alone. That you might see more progress, you might just have doors open more easily when you do so. The 7th house is also the house of sales and marketing. So Gemini is a sign that really I associate with salespeople. People who, what do they say? The gift of gab, and also, I think that is the best way of putting it, because if you think about what sales represents, you have to be able to talk a good game to be able to sell something to someone. So this, you could see your sales go through the roof with the power of Jupiter to expand things. And marketing as well. Now, if you have your own business, this can, this is really a great year for somebody with their own business. And I'll tell you why. Because most people, well, maybe not all people, but a lot of people's businesses involve clients where you're actually working one-on-one with people. And this can be expanded. You can expand your client base. This can be a great time for selling to people. So, same thing. And marketing. Marketing is sales, but it's promoting your endeavor through some kind of media maybe, and you certainly are more than capable of doing that. So if you are, getting back to the marriage angle, or, when I say marriage, I mean, it could be a commitment ceremony that isn't like a legal ceremony. It could be just that you move in together with somebody. But the 7th house is the house where you show off the wedding ring, where you have that ceremony, or you have that contract. It's the house of contracts. So this is important because there's a marriage contract and there's a divorce contract. Contracts are legally binding pieces of paper, are they not? So the 7th house is the house of legal agreements, and it's the house of lawsuits. So because of this, and because if we talk about the 7th house as the house of marriage, it's entirely possible that some Geminis are going to get divorced in the next year. Because marriage is a contract. Contracts can be broken. But here's the beauty of this. If you are getting divorced in the next year, Gemini, you could have a beautiful divorce. So it's not something that is this ugly affair. Maybe you make out like a bandit in this divorce. And I mean that you financially benefit quite nicely from it. And so it doesn't take you to the cleaners, it actually prospers you. One thing that I have to say, which I don't know how this would play out for some people, is that the 7th house is the house of open enemies. And so, hopefully your open enemies list doesn't increase during this time. But actually with the beneficial effect of Jupiter, this might be a case where maybe you make peace with some of these enemies. These are obviously enemies that you are well aware of. Maybe you come to a truce. And if we combine open enemies with the fact that this is a house of legal affairs, lawsuits can be here. So you have to be very careful about your legal engagements. Don't be too rash with any document that you sign, because this could be like mountains made out of molehills, where something is signed and then somebody goes, "Oh, you did this, and I'm going to do that." So just kind of like make sure that you've looked at things very carefully. But I definitely think that Geminis benefit when it comes to one-on-one relationships. So this is music to the ears of anyone who's looking to pair up with somebody, and or somebody who has a business, who wants to gain more clients and wants to really work well with clients and sell to gain more clients. This is wonderful. Okay, Gemini, I hope that you enjoyed this. And if you'd like a private reading where I can really pinpoint how this is affecting you, please check out my natal chart interpretation readings. The links are below for them. Take care of yourselves and enjoy this lucky transit.